Today's GCSE results, as we've been reporting, the pass rate has risen again for the 23rd consecutive year. That's good news if you want to go on to further education. But what if you're thinking of leaving school? What are the options? Well, to discuss them, I'm joined by Paul Champion, Managing Director of the North East Apprenticeship Company. He's in our Newcastle studio, and in our Birmingham studio is a former apprentice, Stephanie Harrison. Thank you both very much for joining us. To you, first of all, Paul Champion, the North East Apprenticeship Company. Just tell us a bit more about what you actually do, how many kids you're involved with.
Yeah, well, North East Apprenticeship Company, our job is to raise the number of apprentices that actually go through the system. What we actually do is we sort of work with employers to get vacancies, and then recruit and interview and present young people to employers and try and match them up to start apprenticeships. Currently, at the minute, we've got about 500 people on our database in the North East and in other various parts of the country. But what our job is to try and increase those number of apprenticeships that go through the system. And
with the recession and the economic difficulties, how are companies responding in terms of apprenticeships? Have they knocked back the number that they're actually prepared to offer?
Well, I think that depends on the type of industry. In public sector, there seems to be a bit of a drop-off. But what we're finding that we are doing some education with our employers in our region, in the sense of saying, you know, if you have a vacancy, can a young person actually do that vacancy? Are you willing to invest some time and some energy into training that young person the type of skills that you need for your business now and also in the future to develop a flexible workforce? So we're finding there's a bit of a balance. SMEs are really turning on to apprenticeships and trying to find a way to employ them and sort of invest some money in them.
Okay, Stephanie, you opted for an apprenticeship. Just tell us what it was in and why you decided to go for an apprenticeship rather than going on to further education.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, basically, I did complete my GCSEs and A-levels, and then I just decided point blank that I just didn't want to go to university. I was a bit worried about the job prospects and a little bit worried about the debt as well. And so thankfully, a family friend told me about the BT Apprentice scheme, which I took on in 2007. I did a BTEC in telecommunications and an NVQ level 3 for information technology. And basically it's just a brilliant opportunity to get involved and get your foot on the career ladder and earn a great wage, as well as getting qualifications at the same time.
So were you worried about the costs of going on to further education and also the competitiveness of it, which obviously we've been hearing a lot about this summer? Were they factors for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I thought about was the main subject I studied at A-level was art, and I was a bit concerned as to what the job prospects would be within art after I'd completed a degree, as I know that the jobs are few and far between, so I just keep that as a hobby now.
So, Paul, do you think that there is going to be a lot more competition for apprenticeships this year, bearing in mind the current climate, with it being difficult for a lot of kids to actually go on and get into university at the moment?
Yeah, I think there will be heightened competition. I mean, in the press today, there's been a lot of chat about, you know, those young people who don't get into university, or those young people who may have decided this year to go on A-levels now not deciding to do that. You know, that will be an increased sort of battleground, if you like, for those places. But you know, but what we need to do is we need to make sure that parents and everybody else who influence young people in their decisions really realise that at the end of the day, an apprenticeship is not just a job; it's a continuation of your education. So we're trying to make sure that everybody has a clear picture about entering an apprenticeship. Is not just a job, it's about continuing education and making the best choices for you at that particular time in your life, really.
Is there any guarantee of a job at the end of an apprenticeship?
I think the employers that we work with to try and make sure that there is a guarantee of a job at the end of it. But at the end of the day, not everything, especially in this economic climate, is certain. I mean, people go to university really without knowing whether they're going to get a job or not. So in one sense, an apprenticeship is probably a bit more certain of getting a job, a bit more security.
And Stephanie, when you went for your apprenticeship, how competitive was it? Because obviously there will be people who've had their GCSE results today who are looking to go down that path. Do you have any particular advice for people looking to do that?
I would just say that they're looking for people that are really enthusiastic, that really want to get hands-on, and that aren't afraid to throw themselves into anything that an employer offers them, basically. But it's just such a good opportunity. I mean, I started my apprenticeship in 2009. I started my apprenticeship in 2007, finished in 2009, and I'm now leading a team of 16 people and approaching the £30,000 mark. So it's definitely something to look into if you're not looking into going to university.
Well, you've done really well, Stephanie. Thanks very much. Good to talk to you, Stephanie Harrison, and also Paul Champion. Thank you both very much.